Good afternoon, everyone. Your faithful Amanda Splatts, the Amanda Splatts Project. Storyteller Mojave, Desert Eagle of Flavor. Not gonna lie, yeah, I feel a little fucked up right now. My sinuses are really fucking with me today, man. It's a little hard to talk at work and be a little hard to talk here, but I didn't want to miss the wrap-up show today. And I wanted to do it early enough that I'd have long enough to talk about Disco Elysium. I can't get that game off my mind after we completed it on Sunday. They're gonna talk about that mostly. We had some other interesting stuff, two other interesting streams too. Not every stream deserves like a half-hour deep dive or anything, but they all do deserve to be mentioned because this is a wrap-up show. I try to be as comprehensive as I can in the small amount of time I may have. So, we'll get started. Double check a couple things. No game today. Because I just want to make this relatively shorter than the discussion of Disco Elysium. So, starting out with... Like I said, sometimes we just get a nice simple stream. And the first stream I'm talking about was, pull up the list. Trying to make the list look kind of professional at least. All the way back on January 21st. Because I only do these wrap-up shows like every couple weeks. And the one on January 21st, we started in the morning with 3-in-1 board game collections for the Game Boy Advance. I'm trying to clear out a lot of my old ideas. Ideas for stuff I had previously that I may never have had to actually do. And it started with I had a whole bunch of board games because I figured it was a way to knock off both retro board games and retro gaming at the same time. I had a whole bunch of 3-in-1 collections for the Game Boy Advance, and I played through them like a total of 7 cards, which is a total of 21 games. Yeah, it was not good. It was a really crappy stream because some of them were just really bad. And I ended up... hold on, double audio. I should have probably ended up bailing around halfway through. But sometimes in streams like this, I get to the... I get to the point where it's like sunken cost fallacy. Like, I might as well go ahead and just see where this fucking takes me. See, like, just that happened later this week also. Although I did have to bail on one thing, but yeah, just like Battleship and Perfection and Kerplunk and just yapping about old board games and how some of them really were not that good. But you're a dumb little... Like Candy, I made a whole bit out of fucking Candyland. It's really not a good game. It's really shit, in my opinion. And I proved it on stream. See, that was nice and simple. I probably should have cut bait at some point, but nah. We went full ham. We went full cheese and crackers on that one. Okay, the next stream was... Had a chance to play some Mad Adventures with Malone, Minato, and Elf. Kind of interesting group we got going here, this little foursome. We've done a few different streams with the four of us. There's been me, Minato, Elf, Malone. Because it was usually just like me, Malone, and Minato as like the whole Babaniku trio. And now Elf has kind of jumped in there. That's kind of cool. I like the dynamic between the four of us. We ended up playing Mad Adventures. It's a free game. It's 500% Animu. It's basic bargain basement, create a character, and then you just play through a bunch of whole goofy little mini games. It was ridiculously easy to run. I had no problems running it on my system. We just fucked around for a couple hours. It was great. Ended up killing each other several times, which was fun. I don't know what it is with me. For some reason, I feel a little bit more comfortable in one-on-one collabs. I worried that I might get lost in the crowd or something, that I just like might not be contributing enough to the conversation. But there is this little group that we got going. I really like it. It's really cool. I am trying to reach outside that group. I am trying to reach outside my comfort zone. I'm trying to reach outside of FlaVR as well, but I get a little paranoid. It's like, what are they gonna think? This fucking one of you wants to hang out with you, wants to collab with you. What are they gonna fucking think, bro? But Elf has all been real fucking cool about it. But I think he's doing like a Pokemon thing later today. I won't be able to catch it because I have to do work later today. And it's gonna be a real bitch. Friday and Saturday are usually a real bitch. So I won't be able to catch it, unfortunately, but I'll definitely want to catch up on the VOD. So yeah, not a lot to say about Mad Adventures. There's a lot of weeb shit, but it's free. It's free, you gotta fucking enjoy it. Okay, I wanted to go hard. We're not quite up to WebP yet. I wanted to go hard for the redraft because the way I'm doing stables in World Extreme Battle Pro is I did it like New Japan did back in the day. Where almost everyone is in a stable. But stables may not function like stables in the United States. It's just basically, if someone is in a group, you know that's their alignment and that's their attitude. You know that's how they are, how they act and what they do. So I needed to get a promo for each of the stables. Because I got a total of 8 stables. And the redraft, almost everyone was going to re-mess around with their roster. And I knew I had to film 8 different promos, including the PepsiCo promo, which was 23 minutes long. It started with Link and Zelda, tag team champions, going into... Well, I'll get more into it when I get to the actual show. But over the course of a week, I had to get the motivation, I had to get the fortitude to get up, pull out those little PNGs, get some background music going, hopefully not get dinged. And play... Essentially play action figures with not so for a while. A total of 75 minutes of pre-tape for what ended up being a pretty short show. It was only like 9 matches. But yeah, it's the cringiest, most dumbest voice acting, goofiest shit ever. But I'm fucking loving doing it. I'm going nuts for it and I'm enjoying it. I think that's the important thing. So that took like over the course of a week. I didn't want to have to do any of it live because the live stuff would not have felt as vibrant. I'm not feeling this vibrant. Please bear with me today. So, next up. Chess with the Awesomeness Darkus. Trying to figure out what to do. Like, he was willing to do a matinee stream with me. An afternoon stream. And it was really cool. I just didn't know what to play. He actually had plans that day, too, after our stream. Because I know I had to get back to work. The matinee stream is supposed to be really short. I need to get back to work. So we went through my old standby. The one that the great Mina Vanilla showed me a long time ago, Buddy Board Games. It's no login, no advertisements. You just make a room and the other person joins you and you play board games for free. It's the simplest thing in the world and it's kind of amazing. So we played chess. I think I won like 2 out of 3. And then we played a whole bunch of Connect 4. I tried to trick him into saying 6-7 and he shut me the fuck down. And Zoss is a smart guy, man. And he is just putting his heart and soul into that role-playing stuff that he's doing. Like, after our stream, he went ahead and did a role-playing, single-player campaign, solitaire campaign, as a isekai FlaVR member. It's actually kind of hilarious. I'm looking forward to see how that ends, though. Like I don't know, he's got other projects and stuff, but I am looking forward to see how that continues. Therefore, I want to check that out. So there. Got this cherry float sugar-free Coca-Cola. It's Coca-Cola cherry and vanilla. Yeah, it's always cool hanging out with Sauce, and I'm always happy when someone's willing to fill that very weird, very specific 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a Friday time slot. Alright, so I'm gonna mute my Goofy Bread song. And I've actually got... I hope I don't get dinged for this, I really know. The first of the 2 Disco Elysium streams I did. So at the end of episode 6... Get my headphones on for this. Hold up the soundtrack. Felt to be appropriate. No, that's not Detective arriving on the scene, my bad. So Disco Elysium. Between episode 6 and 7, I spoiled a lot for myself that I shouldn't have. Although, like I said, I did not look up storyline stuff, or I just looked up technical stuff, how to play the game. Like, the sleeping mechanics, the time mechanics, etc. And I did end up spoiling for myself before episode 7 that I was about to trigger the tribunal. That I was about to trigger the point of no return of the game. Or the real point of no return is the island, but as soon as you do the tribunal, that closes off like 90% of the side quests you could fuck around with. Unfortunately, I did not spoil enough for myself. I thought that as soon as Harry got his gun back, that's when you triggered the tribunal, which is essentially the final boss. No, Harry gets his gun back talking to the pigs. Oh god, the pigs. But talking to Ruby is what sets off the tribunal. Because I even tried going to the fisherman's shack to save. And Kim said, no, there's no time to rest. That the tribunal had been tripped. So I could have gotten my gun back from pigs. And then done a whole bunch of other shit. Because I thought Ruby was the one who was going to give me my gun. No. Spoilers, by the way. Yeah, spoilers for Disco Elysium. Obviously, since I'm talking about the end of it. Here we go. Try not to have it too loud, so it'll get dinged. But yeah, I could have just gotten the gun back from pigs. Done a lot of other side quest stuff, get some more content out of it. And then just ended the stream talking to Ruby. And then could have done the tribunal and the island stuff afterwards. Although I have no qualms about how things went. So I actually ended up talking to Ruby first, because I mistakenly thought that Ruby had your gun. Like that, I spoiled a lot of stuff for myself. I should have spoiled more, because I thought Ruby had your gun. Nah, Ruby has a gun. And she doesn't. And actually, I don't know what it had to do with the ending. But I went ahead and let her go. Instead of having her take her own life, I let her go. And I think the confusion came in that if Ruby Ann heroes herself, you get her gun. But I didn't think she did it. So I let her go. That triggered the tribunal. But I still had Everett still set up the meeting for me with pigs. The poor mentally handicapped woman, oh god. I think seeing pigs hit me a lot harder than it would have some other people, because I've known people like pigs. A long time ago, when I used to work at the physical offices of Desert Salt LLC and commuted to it from home before I started working from home, there was a massive homeless problem. Like, there are these homeless people everywhere. And some of them had psychosis. Like, I've been attacked before. And I think that was one of the big reasons they said, Amanda, you've got to start working from home. You walk to and from places most of the time. It's not safe. They're not cleaning up the homeless problem here. They're just... So I had to start working from home. And people like the pigs. Just so psychotic that they're just so far gone. You want to do something for them, but you really can't. So we did get our gun back from pigs. We saw that it wasn't loaded, even though I got a bullet. I had a bullet on hand. I believe they give you one bullet. And then there's a second bullet that I found under the washerwoman shack. Because even though it's hilarious, I got so worried about unlocking the washerwoman shack so I could have a free place to sleep instead of the whirling in rags. And I end up solving the game at the end of day 3. Like, I didn't even need anywhere else to sleep. We ended up having the tribunal at the whirling in rags at like 11 p.m. So I actually don't speed around the fucking game. Oh, yeah. You know what? I got the whole soundtrack played. Let's go ahead and just listen to the proper song for this. Which one's the tribunal one? Yeah, Chrono Down Will Somoso Sensor. I think that's it. Yeah, the tribunal. So, I knew the tribunal was like just one long dialogue option. And you cannot save while you're in a dialogue screen. You can't save while you're doing, and that was that. Now, I mistakenly was thought that you got a warning before it triggered them, that I could like change my outfit and everything before I triggered them, because I knew once you got to the whirling in rags, that it automatically triggered once like you passed Deep Roy's shop. I thought Inland Empire was supposed to warn me, but looking back at my build, I think I pretty much suppressed Inland Empire almost completely with my various thoughts and everything. So Inland Empire did not warn me of what was coming. Nah, instead, hand-eye coordination and like Electrothasmy or whatever tried to get me to jack off in front of Kim, which is weird. Now again, I will admit, I did look up before the game, before I started the game. I did not look up any story stuff. I did not know anything about the story. But I did look up how do you get the best ending. And it came down to one authority check. So it's a good thing I got the hat from Pigs, which gave me +1 authority. And at the beginning of the game, you know, even though my physical skills, I put the physical skills at 6 and everything else at 2, I put authority as my main stat. And it worked. When it came to Kim, I got a 97% roll rate and I saved him. Almost everyone else died. The Hardy guy died. The person who said she was a gardener and she lied to me died. Kim turned around and clipped that other woman. I missed with the one shot, and I did not know that blue shit that I bought from that one guy with Idiot Doom Spiral, that could be like an instant kill for one of the guys. I did not know that. I did not have that in hand. So, other than Kim living, and that one skeevy little skinny bald guy living, the tribunal went really fucking bad. It went really goddamn bad. But I survived it, and you know why? Because of my build. I had 6 in physical, 2 and everything else when I first made the build. And right from the beginning, that means I survived the tribunal. Because that gave me like 5 or 6 hit points. And the most HP you're going to take, the most damage you're going to take is 4. Because it's like if you get hit by both bullets. Because I fucked up, I didn't get all the armor. Like, I got the hand armor, which is the easy one. But I didn't get the chest armor by pressing that one guy, the crypto-fascist. And I didn't get the leg armor by ripping him off the corpse. And you don't get the head armor till the end. So I fucked up with that really bad. But like I said, just because of my build, I just tanked it. And that's... I feel like that's kind of what I do in real life, too. I just tank a lot of shit. I shouldn't have to, but I do. And there's a whole deep dive into that. But yeah. I was gonna just use the day to wrap up all the loose ends and everything, get a lot of the side quests finished. Nah, I ended up triggering the final boss. And that was a hell of a stream. It was a hell of a boss fight, too. It was really intense. God, the music just makes this game, man. The music just helps make this fucking game. So I'm gonna turn it off for a little bit. Turn on the Goofy Bread music. Turn that back on. We will get to episode 8, but I like to do all the stuff in order. So yeah, that was Disco Elysium, like, Sunday before last. And then after that mind-blowing stream, I actually got to chill a little bit with DeadMac. I like hanging out with DeadMac. I do. He doesn't get to stream. It's like his computer's all fucked up right now, and hopefully it's gonna get that like squared away soon enough. But I like hanging out with DeadMac. He's cool. So like I was thinking I wanted to do a stream with him. I was like, hey, what can we play? And I know he loves the Yu-Gi-Oh, so I went ahead and got the Yu-Gi-Ohs. And I fucked that up pretty badly. Because I downloaded the game. And then, like, after I'd uploaded the game, after I'd already hadn't gotten it started, like, I hadn't gone through the tutorial or anything. But after I finished that, there's like 60 or 70 gigs I had to download, like, right there on stream. So, we had to yap. I mean, it wasn't like the time where Malone and Nicola had to, like, yap for 6 straight hours to download Microsoft Flight Simulator or whatever it was. Wasn't nearly that bad. But we figured it out. We made it. I got to play, like, at least one round with them. And I played a couple rounds with some fucking randos. I had a general idea of how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I watched the show, like, 2 or 3 episodes back in the day. I had a couple, like, promotional McDonald's cards. It wasn't horribly hard to learn. And I don't think it was too chonky. It's just, it feels like it's gonna take a long time to grind out and get an actual deck and a full straight up deck going. I wonder if that's gonna be possible or not. I don't know if I'm gonna revisit it. It was just basically for that one stream. But it was cool to hang out with DeadMac, and it was cool to do what he liked. Hang out with him and yap with him. I hope his computer gets, like, taken care of soon, and cool hearing to be a family man, too. That's always good. So, it was a very simple time, very good time. I had to hang out again sometime. Well, I'm trying to reach out, like I said, I'm trying to reach out past FlaVR for new collabs and with people that I haven't collabed with yet, or even like for a very long time. I got a couple irons on the fire, so stay tuned. But yeah, DeadMac's always awesome. Alright, now I can talk about Web B and the supplemental draft. That was a short show, even though there was like 75 minutes of pre-tape. But it was designed to be a short show. Because it was just supposed to be like PLEs, premium live events, stuff that used to be pay-per-views. Those, if it's a PLE, you know that's a big show. Like, I think I'm just gonna start pre-recording minor shows from now on, and then do PLEs, big shows later on, like live on the Wednesdays. Because I want to do at least one PLE, one creative writing stream, one retro stream a month. And luckily, both my retro stream and my retro gaming stream and my Yap stream in February has been taken care of in one stream. We'll get to that. So it was actually 75 minutes of pre-tape segments. So I pre-taped the segment as the characters in character. And then I did commentary as Amanda during the show. Live, as if I was reacting to what they were doing live. And yep, the rosters got reshaped, history changed. Mori and Kiara ended up winning the tag team titles. So Takamori and Mori Clappy is a heel now. Deadbeat Inc., her new stable, they're heels. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic. Rob Van Dam cashed in his sextet synthesis shot on Geese Howard. He was not successful, but he did it with honor. like, he called his shot beforehand. He didn't sneak in and attack someone like the G-Man did. And the interesting thing was the main event, and this is the mechanic I think happened beforehand, with like Smoke, Noob, Cybot, and Rain as the six-man tag team championship champions, where one of them got injured, but they weren't the legal man, so it didn't count. Kiara got her head fucking decapitated by Zelda, but Mori was the legal one, so she ended up making him tap out and she won in the middle of the ring, while Kiara was unconscious and knocked out outside. So that's kind of interesting. And for those of you who may miss, there was a supplemental thing. Whenever anyone gets hit with a critical, like knocked out, injured, I'm going to start rolling for injuries. I'm going to roll 1d6 for injuries. Or 2d6, rather. So, your odds of getting doubles on 2d6 is 1 in 6. So I'm going to roll 2d6 after a show. If you roll a 7, then not only was it not a real injury, it was just a storyline thing. And that's something I can follow up with another storyline. If you roll doubles, you're out for that amount of months. Or amount of shows, rather. Not amount of months, amount of shows. Takanashi Kiara's injury was a storyline injury, so they're going to keep this feud going between them and Link and Zelda. Zelda kicking the chicken's skull out from under her skull. So it might be having a PepsiCo versus Deadbeat Inc. feud. And then Tony Wan, who was one of the people in the Battle Royal, the Crazy 8's Battle Royal, he's actually injured for 5 months. Although he's not a member of the roster, so it was just going to be RNG whether he showed up or not. Also, I have now turned on the interference, but I set it to low. That's the number one reason I wanted to do stables. Not only because of their face and heel attitudes, but because I wanted interference. Like, I could have members of stables interfere on behalf of their stablemates. It didn't happen. It hasn't happened yet, but again, I set it to low. Didn't want it to happen in all the place. And it was only 9 shows as opposed to the usual 15 to 20 episode web. I think it was only 3 hours. Even with 75 minutes of pre-tape, I think it was just like 3 hours. And oh god, all the pre-tapes. Like, I was able to get them going. Like, there was a 23-minute segment at the beginning of the show with Link and Zelda and PepsiCo that's supposed to kind of emulate what old WWE Raw was like back in the mid-late 90s during the Attitude Era. And I think I kind of got the vibe. I'm kind of rotating promo thing at the beginning. I think I nailed the vibe. Because I don't write the script. Like, I have an idea of what's going to go on and what I want to accomplish in a promo, in a segment. But I don't script it out. I just read it live. That's why I may pause here and there. So yeah, it was a very interesting, very consequential show. And I have already filmed the minor show, the Revachol Rumble. For, let's see, is it showing up on my list? I'll pull it up. It should be on my list. Yeah, the Revachol Rumble. It's going to be a pre-tape for Valentine's Day. Yep, I put it as public. The Revachol Rumble, right from the Whirling Rags, 8 a.m. on Christmas, or 8 a.m. on Valentine's Day. 8 Battle Royals, one is for the Jet Championship, the other 7 are, it's like Feast or Fired. But it's like no fired, it's just all title shots and stuff. I'm thinking of doing more pre-tapes and like... I'm thinking of doing more pre-tapes for like the matinee stuff. That way, if I don't have a collab, if someone's not like actively coming out to stream, I could just do a pre-tape. Because the main reason I'm doing the matinee streams are to break up a week, to break up the week. Because I stream on Wednesdays and I stream on Sundays, and I don't want like 0 engagement like 4 straight days. But yeah, big consequential night. Set up the new rosters, 8 different stables, and yeah, next show will be in a little over the week. Pre-tape. It's not horribly long. It'll be interesting. And like I said, there's going to be 2 shows in February and 2 shows in March. Forward to it, man. Right, next up is... Tabletop Simulator. Now, this one was a little bit, if I may pierce the veil a little bit, this one was kind of slapped together. Like, we've got this whole cadre of people, who might have been interested. Some of them had to cancel. So it ended up just being me, Malone, and Minato playing Red Dragon Inn. I'll thank fuck they did that Unity update for Tabletop Simulator so I could actually stream the game now. And once it loads all the assets in, it actually streams pretty cleanly. So I'm very happy for that. Very happy for that. And it was an interesting game. You're essentially playing like Dungeons and Dragons type characters at a tavern, getting drunk and fighting and gambling and shit. It's cool. But Malone was the one in charge, and he kind of messed up the rules. So, like, I went back and reread the rules, and, like, since we were all it was still fair. We were all playing under the same fucked up rule set. Like, the main thing was, like, the drinks. How the drinks are handled in the game. You're supposed to give someone a drink, and they only drink 1 drink per turn unless they got a chaser card. Like, how the drinks were handled, period, was messed up. So I want to do that again, and I'll get to that. But I've gone ahead and read over the instructions how to actually play the game. And it'll actually be more chaotic by those. Yeah, it was cool hanging out, though. Like, I am trying to reach out. I am trying to reach out past my inner circle, but there's a reason you have an inner circle. Those are the people you're comfortable with. Those are the people you know. And the people that know you. And it's just, it feels good to stream with people like Malone and Minato. Because you know things are good, man. You know things are good with them. Like, this has been a month of Malone. January was the month of Malone. I streamed with Malone in some capacity, either solo or as a group, every single Wednesday last month. So I am now his Witcher Wednesdays. And I do feel bad, like, he never brings that. He never says this. This is my fucking brainworms. But I always get paranoid that I'm taking up too much of Malone's time. That, like, I'm monopolizing his Wednesdays and stuff. I know he doesn't feel that way, but that's me in the fucking brain. That's one of the reasons why I'm going solo this week. No collabs this week. Because I kind of want to see if I can do it. I love collabing. Like I said, every time I do my assessment, reassessing my priorities, collabs are always like right close to the top. It's always wrestling, collabs, and creative writing in some order. But I ended up doing a week alone this upcoming week, and just to clear out a few ideas, work on a few things. Get a little extra rest too, because I've been fucked up. I get the massive seasonal affective disorder, severe depression during like December and January, and then February I just get really fucking sick, like physically fucking ill. Last year, I ended up spending almost all of my sick days in February. That's how fucking bad it was. I'm still feeling a little fucked up right now, but I think I can manage it. Yeah, I wanna reach out to other VTubers. Like, I get a little paranoid. It's like, what are they gonna think about this fucking flavor one view reaching out? There are a few cool people in my journey I'd like to collab with. There's a few people in flavor I haven't collabed with yet that I'd like to collab with. But I also know that not everyone's gonna be into my shit. Not everyone's gonna like what I'm doing. You know, we've all got our own little cliques. We've all got our own little groups. But it's always a great time with Carmelo. It's a great time with Choco Banana. And I hope it'll be that way as much as it can be. And I was happy I was finally able to. I believe that was the next matinee stream. Yeah, that would have been a Friday matinee with Temp doing Power Wash 2 with Temp. Like, I had uninstalled Power Wash 2. It had gotten too chunky. I'd gotten up to the shooting gallery stage, and it started really chunking at my computer, so I uninstalled it. I'm not displeased that I got it. I am happy I got it. I am happy, like, they had a 5 years of content with the first one. I know they're probably going to support the second one for quite a long time, especially with the free content. And great times. Temp is in a weird place right now. Like, he's still on the fence about whether he wants to drop the Tempai character or not. And he's got a lot of irons in the fire right now. A lot of things he's working on. Like, I don't know what they are, and I'm glad he didn't tell me, because I want to be surprised. I actually want to be surprised. I'm interested in seeing what's going to come out of this man. I'm very interested in seeing what comes out of this man, because after a while, after so long, he sounds like he's enthused again and he's excited again. That makes me really fucking happy. Because I've been in that place where you have all the great ideas, but you just don't have the strength or the energy to act on them. I've been there. As a writer, I have fucking been there. So I'm happy it sounds like he's enthused again. And I really look, even if it's not as Tempai, I really look forward to seeing what he's got coming. And it was cool to finally stream with him again. Alright. We need to talk about Phil Collins. The fucking unit. Absolute fucking music unit. Phil Collins. I noticed that day, on the 30th, was Phil Collins' birthday. 75th birthday, that's a huge one. 75 years of Phil Collins. And he's fucking cool. I love some of his songs. So I'm like, hey, fuck it. I don't care what's going on. I don't care who's streaming. I don't care if I blow my voice out. And then I ended up blowing my voice out. I was useless the next day. Busted my ass singing for Phil Collins' 75th birthday. So hard. I went so fucking hard for Phil Collins. I hope he heard it. I hope he enjoyed it. I hope he heard this little roadkill in the desert singing the best hits of Genesis and Phil Collins on a solo act. And just rocking the fuck out. I'm trying to bring music back to this channel. I really am. That's why this Sunday I'm doing the karaoke with no set list. That's why I've stopped doing the Lucky 7 karaoke's, which Lucky 7 was really me forcing myself to sing. Trying to force it to jumpstart again. After, like, certain people have given me certain bad advice, and I've had certain heartache about singing, and I started hating singing at one point. I've finally gotten to the point again where I start singing offline. Or start singing to myself, and I hadn't for a long time because of some stuff that I've done on many playlists. So that's healing. And I just spontaneously said, you know what, let's fuck it. Let's do Phil Collins. And I did. And it was great. So happy 75th birthday, Phil Collins, you absolute fucking unit. The next topic is getting sick in winter, but I already brought that up. And then... again, this is going to be spoilers. Get back to the scrolls here. Yeah. So yeah, so the final episode started in the Whirling in Rags. Or no, not we actually got into the fishing village. And I'd survived the tribunal just because I tanked everything. And we ended up going to the island. I was wrong. I mistakenly thought, and that was the AI search being a piece of shit. All the stuff we experienced, the deserter, the phasmid, the ending, all of that was in the original. Looks like the main content that was actually cut from Disco Elysium, that is in the final cut, are the political quests. I think that's what they added. But yeah, so we ended up going to the island. Because confronting Ruby underneath the Fallen building, that is your trigger to end game. Because confronting Ruby down there, that triggers the tribunal, which triggers Lillian's boat being ready. And then you can finally get to the island. And that's where you meet the deserter. So initially, I was kind of upset about who the killer was. The deserter. This character we've never met before, never seen before. I think he may have been hinted at, but I missed the hint. No, it turns out he's the killer all along. This was really one of the cases where it's really about the story, the journey, not the destination. About the Harry's whole story getting there. Because I was initially a little bummed out that the killer just turned out to be some guy. I honestly thought it was Everett. Like, they keep talking about Everett's brother, his twin brother. I thought Everett's brother killed him. I don't think we ever get to see Everett, because, you know, Everett has that whole big rant, or that big thing about how he wants the war in Revachol so he can take things over. And that's kind of what happened. So I honestly thought it was Everett or his brother that did it. No, it was some guy we never met. And he's like driven by communism, driven by A world he no longer recognizes. And driven by mental illness, too, thanks to the phasmid. So initially I was a little annoyed at how it ended. I love the game. I still love the game at that point. But there's a lot that he... There's a lot that he symbolizes. Like, about how he's so far gone in his darkness. And, like, he just wanted to cause pain and chaos, and that's what he did. Him sniping down that one guy. And then, I know this isn't the right theme, but then after we talked to Joyce and all that, and throughout the Insulindian Miracle and the Pale, we ended up talking to a phasmid. I guess that could be the real quote-unquote final boss of the game, the phasmid. This big old bug fella. I will admit, the game threw me, really got me a good throw there. I did not know the phasmid existed. So the phasmid, like, Harry is like, oh my god, there's this giant fucking bug thing. And the deserter is like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no giant bug. So I thought, oh my god, Harry's having a hallucination, especially since he'd had that hallucination previously about his wife as Dolores Day. That heartbreaking fucking scene. God, I should probably talk about that first. About Harry, like, we finally get the lore about Harry and the woman who broke his heart. But how she actually, like, aborted his kid. And then him trying to get her back even in the dream. And the whole thing with the Fallen Rider, the little figurine that I gave her. That kind of broke my heart, too. Harry had been some real absolute shit. So it was the dream sequence with Dolores. Supposedly, you only get that dream sequence if you completed or went into the church, completed that quest. If you didn't even touch the church, you get some kind of conversation thing. And about the political quest, apparently you don't get the political quest till day 4. That's why I never got the opportunity for any of them. Yeah. So, Harry having that little nap on the dirty mattress. Having a dream about his wife as God. Just absolutely fucking broken, man. And then there's the conversation with the deserter, who was very far gone. And then there's the phasmid, who's actually kind of... what's the phasmid song? See if I can find it. I don't think that's it. But yeah, meeting the phasmid and actually getting a modicum of hope. I kind of wonder... I kind of wonder if meeting the... Like, if it had to be partially with the fact that the old guy sprayed me with all that stuff. The pheromones and everything. Kind of wonder if that had, like, with me actually interacting with him. Because I actually got to chat with the little fella. And he gave me some hope. He said, I'd never give up. The insects are rooting for you, Harry. Also, I like unsuspected sugar rewards. And I'm like, fuck yeah, unexpected sugar rewards are the best. I mean, expected sugar rewards are good enough. But yeah, if it's an unexpected sugar reward, then fuck yeah, baby. So, we also find out that the phasmid may have been fucking up the deserter's brain. So, it was the deserter all along. His bitterness, his being upset and wanting to cause chaos, his jealousy with watching that mercenary fucking closhed. And, wow. It felt weird to solve the case. That I'd put like nearly 45 hours into at that point. It feels weird to actually solve it. Especially since it didn't feel that satisfying. But in the end, it wasn't about the case. In the end, it's just a character study about Harry. Kim to a lesser extent, but mostly Harry. Like, over the course of the game, you actually get to judge Harry. Like, you'd be a sorry cop, a normal cop, an apocalypse cop, or a superstar cop. One of the four, I believe. And then there are also the 4 different political leanings. I chose moralist just to piss off the game. And talking to the phasmid actually gave him a little bit of hope. It was actually kind of nice. It was after all the horrible, terrible shit that had happened to Harry in the past, especially with the Dolores daydream. It was nice to have the guy have some hope. And the big old insect fella get. Like I said, the moment that really got to me, the one that hit me was the deserter. The deserter didn't see it, and Harry's like, "Oh my god, I'm hallucinating this. This isn't real." Kim, do you see it? And then Kim just plainly says, "I see it, and it's real." But apparently, like the pheromones or the juice or whatever that comes off of the phasmid. Like, the deserter had been living alone for decades. Had been living alone for decades with nothing but hatred and resentment and self-loathing. And jealousy. And wanting to watch the world go to war. And the phasmid, what it represented, also kind of messed with his mental state a little bit. But there was a lot there to mess before the phasmid even came around. And of course, the phasmid also leaves them the sniper scope and the head armor. It was cool to actually get the head armor. It's absolutely useless. You get it so late in the game that you literally cannot do anything with it. Like, as soon as you get back from the island, you're talking to your old partner again. Anyways, about that, yeah. I even got the snapshot, the picture that Kim made, and now that's on my banner on my Twitter. And then at the end, the quote-unquote real final boss. Your old partner. Your old partner was there like the whole time in Martinez. In a shitty rag with sunglasses, a shitty toupee rather. Wig, not a rag, a wig. He was wearing a wig at the Whirlian Rags. And at the very end, there's just a big assessment of what you've done. You get to pick like why you think you did what you did, why you think you lost your memory. Get to give your list of accomplishments. Kim will give his assessment. And then you determine your ending. What's going to happen to Harry. For all the shit he's gone through, I think Harry got the best possible ending. Kim is alive. Kim is going to work for the 41st Precinct with Harry. And Harry is the superstar cop who solved the case. And got his job back. From what I understand, even though there are tons of options and tons of things you can do, the only way to not get your job back, to not be the superstar cop again, is if you drink or if you, like, drink or do drugs. I think smoking's okay because even Kim smokes a little bit, but I believe it was like if you drink or do drugs. And I didn't do any of that run, so I was clean. Although supposedly, like, leather or Measure Head gives you a thought cabinet thought that could allow you to purify yourself. But yeah, in the end, Harry gets his life back, and he's got this whole 3 days in Revachol that he has to chew over for the rest of his life. These horrible recurring dreams of his wife, his ex-wife, and the words of the Phasmid, and the stories of all the people in Revachol. And he got his job back. It was a very powerful game, and like, it took me a little while. It took me actually reading a couple articles to realize that it wasn't about the mystery. The deserter, the thing about the deserter being the killer wasn't so horrible, because it was about the mystery, and it was about the road taken to get there, and it was more about Harry and Harry's story, and the story of Revachol, than it was about the actual murder itself. Like Harry's redemption. Like, how do you want to play as Harry? Determining how he'll act and how his redemption goes. It's like Final Fantasy II. You're judging your character the entire time, and your judgments on them are going to affect their ending. I thought it was brilliant. I thought Disco Elysium was an absolutely brilliant game. Literally the best writing I've ever experienced in any video game ever. I don't know if I'd put it over Final Fantasy VI as my favorite RPG, but it is definitely in the pantheon of my top 5 games of all time. Definitely way up there. And the music is amazing too. The music is just as much character in Disco Elysium as anything else. The music by Sea Power. And a few of these songs are actually interpolations of segments of old songs they did before Disco Elysium that have lyrics. Like, I've sung 8 AM Whirling in Rags before. That version had, like, lyrics. Fire Escape of the Sea, I believe. And there are a couple other ones I'm trying to learn for karaoke. So I said I wanted to do a second run. I wanted to do one with a lot of psyche, and then have empathy as my main item, so I get a lot of that flavor. There's like 800 passives under empathy, so you get a lot more of the story doing that. I also kind of want to be a fucking asshole this time around. And also, I want to do the moralist route. Like, there are 4 political views, and starting on day 4, obviously I didn't know this because I triggered the tribunal at the end of day 3. Starting day 4, you can go on a political quest if you want. And the moralist quest, the none of the above quest, I believe that's actually an ending. Instead of confronting the deserter and the Phasmid at the end of the game, if you finish the moralist quest, the game actually ends there. So I'm interested in seeing that, but I'm going to do that offline. Because if I were to play it online, that would be skipping all the dialogue that I normally got. And that wouldn't be fair to y'all. So yeah, I'm going to read some more articles, listen to some more internet articles. Learn more about the story behind the sacred and terrible air, the Pale. Digest this playthrough and what this game meant to me. In a few months, I may try to play it offline and try to get the moralist ending. But yeah, Disco Elysium. Oh my god, man. I want to say that it was better than... Fear and West of Loathing. And I think I can say Disco Elysium was better than West of Loathing, because I don't plan on coming back to West of Loathing. I essentially did everything there was to do in that game. I do want to go back to Disco Elysium. So I guess that way, yeah, Disco Elysium was the greatest Sunday game I've played in a long time. The long form Sunday game. Now, as far as future long form Sundays, I wanted to take a couple weeks off so I could properly digest Disco Elysium. This Sunday, we're going back to Darkest Dungeon for one stream and one stream only. I beat the Countess. I thought that was a great place to end it. But I figured, you know what? Let's go ahead. I got three more level 5 bots to take care of, including the level 5 crew, which is responsible for my first and only full party wipe. So, like, you know, let's see if we can hammer those out in one stream. At least get one of them, not all three of them. Because I killed the Countess. I killed the Countess last time, but I can't leave well enough alone. After that, I was going to do... What the fuck? Why is my work phone dinging? Oh, that's letting me know I can take my meds again. You're only supposed to take my painkillers like once every 6 hours. Cool. So yeah, I believe the stream idea I was gonna do another episode of WebP on a Sunday, but I pre-taped the Revachol Rumble. So when I get this Sunday, it's gonna be Darkest Dungeon, and I think the next Sunday I've got a special game I want to do for Long Form Sunday. I don't know if it's gonna be a regular Long Form Sunday game, because if I get good enough RNG, if I get lucky enough, I'll be able to beat this game in one sitting. But probably not. Probably not. And I have a couple of collabs set for next week. I haven't locked anything in yet, but I got some cool ideas. But yeah, man, Disco Elysium just really blew my mind. And it was an amazing experience, and I'm happy y'all were able to share it with me. So that afternoon, Disco Elysium was my morning stream on Sunday. That afternoon, get to stream with Choco Minato. Be 100% honest, I just wanted to do the stream to prove that I could do a stream with Minato. We were gonna do Pit Fighter back in mid-December. And then, like, there was no way to actually do it live. Tried to do it live, couldn't have done it live. And then he said that we could reschedule. And I quit because he said he wanted to reschedule. But then he kept going for like another 3 hours. So it's like, okay. And then we collabed during the Red Roof Inn stream. But I think this was the first one-on-one collab we'd had. Actually get that squared away. Because of his schedule and everything. And, like, I did my road test there. I tested a few games, and then we played some Waku Waku 7, which is this goofy little Sunsoft fighter with some pretty absurd special attacks. It was good, and it was good to hang out with Minato again. Like I said, it's like basically trying to do a make good for, like, back before my hiatus. And I'm glad we were able to finally get it done. I was able to finally collab with the guy. One-on-one. Because I feel like I'm better in a one-on-one environment. I feel like if it's a group environment, like I end up having the tendency to just back off and let everyone else talk. So Wednesday morning, the start of my week solo, my solo week. No collabs this week, just me. Started doing wrestling games. And one of the wrestling games didn't fucking work. I wanted to play WCW Backstage to sell just how fucking horrible it was. But it didn't work with the system I had. It just did not work, so... I think we got to like one match and that's about it. We did play some Action Arcade Wrestling and that went to shit also. Because you can't actually load your created character to be playable in the main game. You have to load it through their server or whatever. It's the whole fucking thing. Like, I actually created a character called the Ascendant to play as. But there's not even an arcade mode. There's not even an arcade. They've got towers mode, but you have to create a tower. And then everyone makes their own fucking tower. And you have to download all those characters. It's just... For something that's been in beta for so long as it is, and was hyped up as much as it is, there's not a lot of there. It's really not. There's a pretty robust character create mode, but that's about it. I was disappointed. I got it for dirt cheap, but I was still disappointed. We got some time out of it. Plus, we did pro wrestling for the NES, old school pro wrestling. King Corn Karn. I'm now a King Corn Karn fan. Kick you in the fucking mouth, in the mush. And then we topped it up with WWE Betrayal. Which is this horrible beat 'em up. I go a little bit too hard on trying to finish a game on stream, I feel. Like, I can't just let something drop. I have to finish it. That's why I'm doing Darkest Dungeon for the 30th fucking time this Sunday. Because I get the feeling I need to finish whatever I start on stream. Unless it's like Jet Set Radio, something that's so glitchy and broken, it literally forces me to give it up. But yeah, I end up beating it, and I end up beating it out, and this happens a lot to me with these harder games. I noticed it happened to me in Super Castlevania 4 as well. Like with the jumping mechanic and the angled whipping and everything. I struggle at the end until I discover a mechanic I didn't know existed. Like with the recovery mechanic, I thought you just hit A and B to recover. No, if you wiggle the D-pad as well, you recover extremely fast. And I was like, oh, kind of invincible at that point. So yeah, Betrayal was bad. Most of the games were bad. The Nintendo one, NES Pro Wrestling was pretty good for what it was. Horrible stream, but had a lot of fun. You can have fun playing shit. Just don't have fun playing in shit. You will catch a disease. I want to go ahead and admit something right now. Now that we're at the last game. The Saturn road test, or the Saturn game stream, was a bit of a road test. I'd finally gotten Saturn games to work it through RetroArch. And I talked about Lost Media. I talked about how Fighters Megamix is a fucking amazing game because you had full cast of Fighting Vipers, full cast of Virtua Fighters 2. Doral, my shiny metal wife, is playable. And a bunch of crazy other characters, too. Plus, like, Virtua Fighter. I'd done the stream about Virtua Fighter on 32X before. And how I was pissed off that there was no, like, real arcade perfect conversion of Virtua Fighter. That pissed me the hell off. And I believe the Saturn port is about as perfect as you're gonna get. Like, even emulation with MAME and everything, it's not great. So I played Virtua Fighter for an hour, and then I did Fighters Megamix. unlocked every single character that you can unlock through the challenge. Like, it had more of a challenge mode than Action Arcade Wrestling. It had its own little towers mode. You pick any character you want, and then it's 7 predetermined characters, and that 7th character is unlockable. Except for like the first tower where it's just an alternate outfit for Honey Slash Candy. You beat 6 themed characters, and then you beat the 7th one, which is the special boss, and it becomes playable afterwards. And there were 9 total towers. I beat all 9 towers on stream. With my big, jack, muscular military waifu, Jane. Who has this really, really nasty back punch. Like 4P back type punch. Really fucking good. It was fun. It was fun to, like... I talk about, like, games trapped in old consoles and preserving old games. Like, I don't think anyone talks about Fighters Megamix anymore. Like, it was a cool game. It was a cool idea. But it's lost the fucking time. Because it was stuck on the Saturn. I'm happy I was able to showcase it. I'm happy I did unlock Hornet, the car. Did a little fight against the car. But I'm not going to say anything right now. I'm going to hold this inside. But the road test, it was kind of a road test to see if I could stream Saturn games. Because I will go ahead and spoil it right now. The game that I want to do that may just be a one-off for Sunday. It's a Saturn game. The next long-form Sunday, which may only be 1 or 2 episodes, is going to be a Saturn game. And it chunked out a little. It wasn't horribly unplayable, but it chunked out a little bit when I streamed. Hopefully, though, this one won't chunk out. Because it might have just been all the polygons and stuff on screen. Because it ran fine when you're doing the entrance, or the victory animations and stuff. So it was good that I tested everything out, and I'll have to test the game out under real work conditions, too, before I stream it. Because there is significance of me playing it on this channel. Feels nice to actually complete a game on fucking stream, it really is. So what is next on the channel? This Sunday morning, one off Darkest Dungeon. Sunday, I forgot Sunday was the fucking Super Bowl. I forgot Sunday was the Super Bowl, man. I fucking did. I was just gonna be singing, and you know, I'm gonna still be singing. I made a commitment. I made a commitment to the bit, and I will follow through. I'm just gonna sing. I'm just gonna throw open YouTube. Just pick a random karaoke song and fucking sing until I want to die. Like, my throat wants to die, rather. And then next week when I'm quote-unquote back to normal, Wednesday morning I'm doing creative writing, and it's going to be with other VTubers to schedule. Like, it's been a very long time since I had any of my colleagues, any of my mutuals in one of my stories. And it's mainly going to focus on Tiffy Weefy at Castle Brightlock. My mentor, the person who knew me long before I was Amanda Splatts, focusing mostly on her. But it's also going to lead up on the story as it was from January, about Amanda finding all that, the obelisks, and Sandy in her death throes, etc. It's going to follow up on that, because I remember at the end of that chapter, the January chapter, she ended up like going through a portal, getting right to TV's place. So there's that. Malone will probably show up at some point. I'm asking a few other people, like, how do you want me to write you if I bring you up? February 14th is going to be pre-taped. Not going to be a matinee this month unless I like get so tired or like get so exhausted and pain at 3 a.m. I want to do a mystery stream or something. But the matinee, quote-unquote, next week is going to be the River Show Rumble. the second tier wrestling show. Like, if you remember Tracing Academy raising the stakes from last year, where it was just like a total of 9 battle royals, it's gonna be kind of like that. There's gonna be several battle royals with the roster and a whole bunch of gifts thrown about. And then later this month, I want to start Final Fantasy IV. Like, I want to do the Saturn game first. I'm giving myself like 2 streams, maybe 3 streams to beat it. But then I want to start Final Fantasy IV. Because after Final Fantasy IV, which is supposed to be 25 to 30 hours, I believe Final Fantasy IV is supposed to be shorter than Disco Elysium, actually. It'll take me like 45, 46 hours to do Disco Elysium. After Final Fantasy IV, I want to do Vegas. Fallout New Vegas. I did buy all the DLC for it, by the way. And he had creative writing and more wrestling and wrestling, writing, singing, and me screaming at Karl Malone. What else could you fucking want, right? What else could you fucking want? That's a wrap-up show. Disco Elysium blew my fucking mind. And other than that, we had a good time. No one in the chat today, but that's fine. Like I said, you don't have to watch the wrap-up show live. This is just basically a wrap-up of things and stuff that I did for anyone who might have missed the show or want to get my thoughts on something. This is like, wrap-up show really is for VOD gang. It really is. But if you are here hanging out today, watching me live in the middle of a day on a Friday, then thank you. I deeply appreciate it. Lurkers, VOD watchers, second screen scenes. I will see you Sunday for Darkest Dungeon. And then Sunday evening, if you're not watching the Super Bowl, you can listen to Old Hag sing for a couple hours. And then next week, creative writing and more great collabs, great people. One day I'll be a great people. I've just recently graduated past being a sack of shit. I'm working on it, baby. I'm your faithful Amanda Splatts, and this is the Amanda Splatts Project. You have a good day.